the way we are deceiving ourselves and deceiving others. Now all these things are going on around us, and we see the world, sometimes we feel that this world will be destroyed or what will happen. It's not going to be destroyed. After all, the one who has created knows how to save it also. So it won't be destroyed. But some may be destroying themselves. Actually, we destroy ourselves. God will never destroy us. That's one thing for sure. But if you want to destroy ourselves, we have freedom. We can do what we like. Only we human beings have the freedom. We can kill ourselves or we can save others. It's such a tremendous thing. But in America, somehow or other, I have not been very successful so far. For the first time, we had such a meeting here. And I've never met the press anywhere also in America. But only in any other place now, from somebody has come from Turkey. Every week they are publishing about me, the front page. Imagine in Turkey they have 2,000 surgeries, they are Muslims. So why in America it doesn't work out, I don't know. Because there's no sensation in it. That's of course what true. No sensation of any kind, you just jump, you don't do anything. It's just simple happening where you are sitting, you just get it. It's relaxation, complete relaxed temperament, and all the things that are written in that, whatever they have given you is absolute truth. There's nothing that is exaggerated, and there are many more things you have to know. But please humble down a little bit and see for yourself that you get it. Alright, I don't want to speak long because they said there are some people who want to ask me questions. So I would like to spare some time for you to ask me questions. But there's one thing, you see, don't go the way you go about with other journalism, like asking me why your hair are black, why your hands are like this, why do you wear this. I mean, all sorts of things. You know, I'm a married woman. So, in a normal way, you should ask them. I'm not a politician. I have nothing to do with your politics. I tell you, this is no politics. I don't call it, we have to have divine politics. And divine politics is such. Now, with all these organizations, so-called of Sahaja, there's no organization. We have no secretariat, we have no officers, we have nothing like that. It just works. We don't have to do anything because there's collective consciousness. We are all connected with each other. Just works. You know, you'll be amazed how things are working out. Now we are having a program in one place, Kana Johri they call it. I'm just sitting here, I'm doing nothing. But everything is working out. Everything. There was not even a single roof there. Everything has worked out. People have come all over the world to America. They are so concerned about America because always I said, I don't know what's wrong with America. Sahaja doesn't work. You see, I told them, don't go after this guru, he's not alright. Don't go after that person. They didn't like it. Why should I say such a thing? Now all those gurus have made a big money. Some of them have died, some have run away, some are in the courts, all this. But they don't like it. But I'm not a newspaper person that I'll go on praising everybody or criticizing anybody. What I'm trying to tell you, the truth is that you better find yourself. You better know your value. You better know that God has made you for a special purpose, and these are the special times that they call as last judgment. This is the time you have to judge, and you will be judged. You will be judged. If you are in the spiritual life, all right. If you are not, forget it. It's like that. It's so simple as that. You have to know yourself and get rid of all your nonsensical ideas, also all these artificial problems. I hope I've been able to talk to you nicely, but as I told you that it is nothing but love. It's love and compassion. But it is not mixed up with something perverted. It's not mixed up with something which is very localized, or maybe something like a love affair and all that. It's nothing. It is not also any identification. Now I'm an Indian or you are an American, you are something, makes no difference at all. We are all human beings, and that's what we realize within ourselves, that it's not true. These are all, God made these lands not to create problems, but to love each other. And this is very important today, as you can see, for the emancipation of the world, for the emancipation of human beings, and to give them love, joy, which is their right. So Sahaja Yoga is, Sahaja means Saha, born with you. Saha is with, Ja means born. Born with you is this, I should say, the right. It's a very, very, very fundamental right that you get your realization is yoga, union with the divine. This is your right to get it. Everybody has this right to get it, and then you will realize what have you got. Before that, you are still on a level which is not such. So I would request you to take to this realization and also ask me questions. If you want, you can ask me questions first.
I have two questions, and of course not personal. The first one is speak about realization. We must get. So how do we get it? Number one. And secondly, I'm interested in your husband. When did it get his That's right.
We'd like to know where is the hospital in India.
A husband is
That's, you see what I will say, in a way it is both. So, you see the hospital now we have in India. I started this hospital a long, long time back, I think. 8 And you see, actually we got a very good doctor who is a retired doctor and who is realized, who got realization. I cured his wife, I cured his granddaughter by surgery. So he took, and this hospital is running there, and we don't charge for medicines, for treatment, for anything, but for stay. That's only for the one bed, 300 rupees. $10 for 1 day. $10. $8. I'm sorry. $8. And for the room, which is air conditioned with bathroom, for the room only we charge 1,000 rupees. That's all. But otherwise, for the doctors, for the nurses, for the services, for the treatment, we don't. Because this treatment is not done with medicines. You know, these days medicine is so dangerous. You take one medicine, God knows what reaction you'll get. Then you go to another doctor. You have to end up with taking out all your teeth, eyes, ears, everything. So it's not like that. It is only we work on the chakras, on the centers, as we have shown here. On the centers. What is the center? Every person has different centers problem. Then we see if they are suffering by overactivity or by, you can say, inactivity. There are two types of patients. One are overactive and some are who are possessed by the inactivity. So these two types of people actually are there because of the two sympathetic nervous systems. Now, of course, doctors have started accepting. When I was studying, they did not, that the left sympathetic is different and right is different. But still, they don't know anything about parasympathetic. I must tell you very frankly. Parasympathetic will only know through surgery. It's very simple. It's very, very simple. It is very near Bombay, called as New Bombay. And so many people have been there, have been cured, and they have been helped. I don't keep the list of that, but I'm really amazed how people are coming and they find it very cheap, you see the whole place also, and looked after with love, with compassion, with love. That's the main.
My first question was, how does one get the realization?
That I'm going to try just now. All right. After questions. It's spontaneous. You don't have to do anything. It's very spontaneous. You all look so loving. You all can get it. Any other questions? Yes, madam.
Why do you think that Americans seem to be more resistant to everything?
Why Americans do you think are resistant to realization?
I think they are very great. I think they think they are on top of the world already. You have to come to down. Isn't it true? You have to criticize. But this temperament. Even in India, if somebody gets lots of money, he floats in the air. You just can't talk to that person.
That's good.
Very common. Money goes into head. It's money orientation. Also, power goes into head. See, immediately they sit on the horse. All these things, that's why this head is to be crossed over. Important.
The population number is really not so fortunate as to be wealthy. They're more on less and they're suffering from poverty and lack of. So it's they all, based on their condition, they're also faced with violence, crime, drugs, and all of those things. And so really we need a way to show them how to utilize this wealth.
The people she works with are people who are suffering with poverty, violence, crime. So what is the best way to reach to them?
See, for poverty, there are ways of working it out. Poverty, there are ways of doing it. And also, now for example, in India, I have started a big school for children who fail in the 8th class to give them vocational training. In India, we don't have. We have generous people, no doubt. Now, we don't need money just now. We are all right. These children are taken from about, say, they are from 14 to 16 years of age who have failed in life, so far. So we teach them like we don't have good plumbers in India. Here also, if you call a plumber, you better find out from the back how much money. That's true. So, in the same way, we have problems of that, and also see, for example, carpentry. Indians used to do all the carpentry with their hands, you see. But because of machinery, that trade is gone now. So we are people who have to learn how to do it with their machinery, if you give them machinery. So we are going to teach them carpentry, driving. We can't get drivers there very well. But they are not very highly paid people in any way, but at least they'll be paid something. And other crafts like that. Then another thing is that we should, what we are doing in India, to find out what the poor people make. For example, my father was a lawyer. He used to go to a very far-fetched village for a case he was in. And there I found very, very, very poor people. They had no houses. They used to live on the trees because they were animals and things, you see. And also they used to wear only one cloth. Ladies would wear two about cloth, only cloth. They used to cover themselves. And very poor, and that time only I really felt like crying for them. So now I decided that I'll start export business. So imagine me doing business. I can't even count rupees. But I started the business, so-called, and first thing I started was I asked my brother to go and see in that village what sort of people are there, if they are still making the terracotta. Very creative, very creative, very beautiful. He said they are still making. And some of them are Greeks, When Alexander came to our country, they stayed. And they are there. And what they are making, they call it bell metal. No one makes in the whole world that sort of a thing. I said, all right, we export. And we have exported now to America also. Last in America. Because America, you don't know what they would like. But somebody has dared to ask for it. I said, all right, I'll say. So that also we have exported to America. And it's working out. Well, she said it's working out very well here. Because poor people are very creative. They are very creative people. And they should not be given arms. It's a wrong idea. Because if you give them arms, for example, we have so many development coming from these UN and all that. They will go in a well, they will dig a well. All right. Then what happens? So much money, inflation comes in. They take to drinking, this, that. And also that well is not looked up. But make them make a well themselves. They should try to make a well themselves, see for work it for them, so they look after this well. So that is how we have started. The village we can do it. And the village craft in India is tremendous. But they don't know how to export, What they are exporting is fans or motorcycles or something like that. You see, what we have in the villages is a wealth of handmade. Now here you go anywhere, this is handmade. To us, what is handmade? Everything is handmade only. But they say this is handmade, this is handmade. First I used to be shocked when handmade means you thought they make otherwise. And these handmade things we have such a feeling. In the poorest of poorest countries, you see. You have a Benin, you see. What embroidery. You have to just guide them. You tell them what to do. Unless and until you have that love for them, you cannot discover. Also, if they don't know anything, if you tell them you make this, they'll make it. Now, for your information, most of your things are coming from such developing countries. For example, shirts that you wear, made in USA, are made in Germany. Then in Tunisia, they make very beautiful things which are branded by French. See, like that. Leather things. So now they are also trying to exploit Indian labor also. So exploit the Indian labor and exploit their own people with money. It's a trick of the trade is like that. But if you can really get it from these people, poor people, what they make, put them to something which they can do. And if you can manage them, they'll have their self-respect. Actually, despite everything, I must say, Indian poor people have very great respect. Very respect. They won't do anything cheap. Now supposing you buy from them something like this thing. They say, this is just clay. This is just our Indian soil. Why are you buying? Like that they talk. I said, no, it is very valuable. You have no idea. So then they would sell it. Other they don't want to sell you, take it. They are starving. They have nothing. They are very wonderful people. But if you torture them and say you're poor and all the time, you freak them, then they can't even breathe. They take bolts in their hand and make it on. Like that, you see, also, I felt too much for Indian industry. Especially they are Muslim. Most of them are Muslim women. And for them I started a residence for them. Now, they can do a lot of work. I was amazed how they can stitch beautiful clothes for children with beautiful embroidery, They have a heart. All of them have a heart. And also they want to do now gardening. They want to do gardening. They want to create flowers. The flowers are expensive now. And we thought that you can export flowers. So like that, so many things they make. They are so creative. Now here you get, I don't know what you call that, patchwork. In India, Nobody will wear the patchwork. It is regarded something cheapish. Because all these village women, they take, make it so beautifully. And I saw them selling here in New York.
Your opinion about how the women in India, as far as equality is concerned, are we giving equal rights to our women in India? I would like to hear from you and your husband. Hopefully, will.
Now, you see, our style and culture is different, what I'm saying. The thing is that woman is regarded, not nowadays, of course, because it's different, but most of the women in the villages are regarded as Sakshat. Lakshmi means mother, goddess of wealth. So she is to be respected. All the people will respect. You see, nobody dare insult. That was our society, and is still in the villages society. And the women feel very proud that they are housewives. They are proud because we are housewives. We have our children. We can look after our children. We can cook. They are great cooks also. So you see, what happens that they know that their area is their household, but they don't feel suffocated. They don't feel they are lower down. Like even my husband who is here, he'll tell you about me. That first thing is I'm a very good housewife. First of all, I know very good cooking, everything. To please men, you must know how to cook.
You go to step up to the man's heart.
Yeah, of course. It's a fact. It's a fact. And women should not feel low about it. You are praised so much. You see, I was surprised because one gentleman, my husband was, in the foreign, he was Secretary General of the IMO, International Maritime Organization and all that. It's a very international thing, very formal and all that. But all his friends used to come to my house to have chicken made by me. Can you imagine? Such big Johnnies, They used to come down for that. And I was known all over the world for that, making good chicken. But my husband knows all the list of things that I make very well. And so, you see, it is something the woman must know her own value. I don't like to work with men all the time, fighting, quarreling, it's funny stuff. I love my own house, my own home. I have 2 daughters and 4 grandchildren and now 2 great-grandchildren. And we are all very happily living, enjoying each other because of love. You see, competition is because of money, because here the men dominate for money. Maybe in India also they might dominate a little bit for money. But women know how to dominate because they know how to do. That's it. Women must know their own powers. Then they will not write for the men's powers or what? What are their powers, stupid? You see, I would hate to have so many bosses, so many this thing. Only one boss you have to please him. That's all. Very simple life. But we should accept our women. We should be proud of it. And that really gives you the family life and everything. It's a woman who is the preserver of the society. This we don't realize. Woman is the preserver of the society. If she understands she is the preserver, then you can bring round all the men. All the men. Because she is the one who preserves the family. Now without the family, what will men do? They'll commit suicide. So you must just pour love in the whole family, the whole atmosphere, how to manage it. And you should be very patient and loving. And I tell you, all my in-laws are at least 100 in-laws I have, my husband's family. They will come to see me, not him. He's sitting here, I'm telling you. They will come all the way to see me, but not him, because he was a big man, a formal, this, that, and some of them used to just run away if I were not in the house. So for what we should work? What do we get? This money for what? Then the women now has become slavish people, very slavish. because they have to please the boss, please this thing, they have to dress up well, they have to look nice, they have to look young, all sorts of things, so many, enterprises have started this. But here, you don't care for all these things. If you are a woman in the house, then manage everything very well. And if the husband tries to trouble you, all the family will be after him. It's like that, it's very safe and very enjoying and very good. It's all pervading in the society of everywhere. But these days, people are getting so perverted in the brain. I'll tell you one example. One lady, she was the boss, she was the wife of a very big boss, from India. So she went to come for a dinner. And in the dinner, they keep places for people, they with their names, labels, everything. So she was not there, she was missing. So she was very smart, very smart. For an Indian, she was overly smart, wearing a very short thing and always wearing her goggles and all that, talking with her eyes like that. And we were quite little dwarfy before her. But, I was surprised she was not there and everybody was waiting for her. On this big formal dinner. So I said, all right, I'll go to the toilet. There, she's a waiting room, she was sitting there. I said, what are you doing here? They made me sit here. I said, they made you sit here. Can't understand. So I asked the manager, why did you make them sit there? Alright, why did you make them sit there? They said, she thought she is his secretary. We never thought that's his wife. So the dignity of the wife, if you give up, you are known. One must understand, the women must understand how powerful they are. In India they are called Shakti, they are called as power. See? But you must know how to handle your husband, to handle your family with you. And you have to bear a little bit. Of course you have to be patient, you have to bear a little bit. But you must know they are all not yet mature. But the struggle that we have here now, I find, or in other places, European places of the women, is absolutely not necessary. We have to change the society. Now in Sahaja people get married. There are international marriages, all kinds of marriages. 99% marriages are successful. 1% might fail because we marry a Russian to an American to an Indian. So it's quite a change and quite a different thing. So you can imagine how these people have become 99% people who are married in Sahaja Yoga are wonderful and they have very beautiful children. What other line? That's one. In any other sphere you are working, you can ask the question. I would like to give you realization. That's what they are saying, that you give them realization. And, it's a better idea. He says that tomorrow we are going to have a very big program. But the hall is small, I must say, doesn't matter. It's such a big city, or everything seems to be smaller and smaller. Alright, so for that, if you want your realization, it's your freedom. It's respected. You have to ask for it. I cannot force. You cannot force. And if you want to go away, you can go away. It's completely, because if you have to have the ultimate freedom, this freedom has to be respected. And this freedom is that if you want, you can have it. If you don't want, so they are saying that you all are invited to that program. Where are we having?
Town hall. tomorrow town hall at 7:30. It will be a wonderful program where you will have your self-realization. That's on 43rd Street. I think everyone must know where town hall is. 123 West 43rd Street. And doors open at 7:30.
But I must tell you one thing. You don't have to pay, you don't have to stand on your heads. Nothing you have to do. To just sit on your seats or on the ground doesn't matter. As simple as that. Because I told you, it's your fundamental right.
I will ask you just 1 second to join me in thanking Shri Mataji. She comes, as I said, and she brings so much, and so much is still to be had. So I just wanted to, from our heart, Shri Mataji, to have something from all of us to you for giving us your time and your love and bringing so much to the whole humanity, Shri Mataji. I thank you so very much on behalf of us.